introductions, starting with Orly.
I'm Orly Munzing, Strolling of the Heifer, Executive Director and Founder.
Jeff Lewis, BDCC Executive Director.
Deborah Woodrio, the Vermont Small Business Development Center Area Advisor for Wyndham and Windsor County.
I'm Hugh Barber. I'm President of the Board of BDCC.
Tim Johnson from WTSA.
Randy Colhut from the Commons.
Phil Innes, I publish for Monk Views magazine.
Bruce Gardner, serial businessman, currently employed at BDCC.
Joe Bushy's in the corner filming, and
Donna McGilligan, helping out with PR and marketing for BDCC.
okay, and I'm Martin Langeveld do the marketing for Strolling of the Heifers. So we're here to talk about the BDCC/Strolling business plan competition, and we're going to start with Jeff to give us the basics here.
All right. Thank you all for coming. We're this morning announcing the resumption of the BDCC business plan competition. This will be its 5th iteration. We started 6 years ago. We missed a year during the recent downturn, so we're very happy to be returning. We are even more pleased to be returning in cooperation and conjunction with Strolling of the Heifers, who are adding a new component to the business plan with their strength in farm and food. So we're very pleased to be able to do that. Let me just briefly run through the prizes for what we call the general business category, because it is the prizes, after all, that people are interested in. There are 2 categories in the general business category. Existing businesses, which means they have companies been in business for usually at least 6 months and has positive revenue. There is a cap of $500,000 gross revenue that we set for the entrants. All entrants have to be beneath that. Prizes for the existing business, that is someone who's already in business, are $12,000 for first prize, $6,000 for second, and $2,000 for each of the other finalists. We'll go back in a minute to the rules and how many finalists there are. And for the new business category, meaning somebody has a bright idea and no really strong revenue yet, $6,000 for first, $3,000 for second, and $1,500 each for the finalists. I'd like to turn it over to Orly Munzing, who will explain the farm food piece of this.
Well, thanks, Jeff. What I would like to say is that, give a little background. Approximately 2 years ago, Jeff, you called me and said, we've got this great business plan competition, and there are farm and food people who apply, but it's very hard for them to stand against traditional business plans. I spoke to my farmers, and they thought it would be a great idea to work with Jeff and create a new division just for people who are in the farm and food business and trying to either add value to what they're presently working with, or bring out more creativity and innovation to businesses in our economy. So rather than reinvent the wheel, we're working closely with BDCC, who've been great supporters of Strolling of the Heifers anyway, and we are aligning with BDC's competition, and so we're going to have a farm food division, and there's going to be a farm food existing plan for existing businesses, and there's going to be a $10,000 prize for that. Second prize will be $5,000, and there'll be up to 3 runners-up, $1,500. And then for new businesses, new ideas, which we're always looking for, first prize will be $5,000, second prize will be $2,500, and up to 3 runners-up for $1,000. So that's what that division will be, and I think it will be easier and more fair, as we all agree here, to have 2 separate divisions, one for just traditional business plans and one for the farm food. And this is exciting for this area because for us this area is really a representation of the best in providing food industry in a small way. And we're hoping that this can be a real example for the rest of the state in what we're doing here. It's an exciting time.
Very much so. Orly's exactly right. A few years ago, I think in the third year of the competition, after it was over, a couple of the ag, the food and farm people said to us, hey, we really enjoyed being in this, we learned a lot, but we don't think the judges were able to compare our business proposition with a manufacturing-oriented one. And as we thought about it, as Orly reported, we thought that made sense, so we're very pleased with this partnership with the Strolling to help give the farm food section, which is so important to the Vermont brand and communities, an opportunity to be judged consistent with their own accomplishments. It might be useful now, I'm going to give Hugh Barber, who's our board president, a chance to make some comments, because they actually sponsor this and fund it.
Thanks, Jeff. Nice to see you all here this morning. On behalf of the BDCC board and management, I'm very pleased to again commence this business plan competition. And it's important to note that BDCC and Strolling of the Heifers have combined this year to enhance the competition and make it better than ever. Although BDCC has had a great success story recently with the construction of the Commonwealth Yogurt building and facility here at Omega Park, we feel the vast majority of our businesses are already here. They're waiting to happen. And it's important to create an environment where we nurture, grow, and the businesses that are here and encourage the entrepreneurial spirit of those that are blossoming. Consequently, the BDCC board has unanimously supported this endeavor, and we encourage anyone who has interest to pursue the competition. And again, Orly and the Strolling of the Heifers team, we're pleased that you're part of this, and we look forward to a great competition.
I want to, just following up on Hugh's comments, I want to be very clear that the BDCC portion of this is funded out of operating income. It is money that we earn. It is our funds, BDCC's funds. There's no grants, gifts, or other resources. The board makes this choice out of their own pocket to finance this because, as he said, their belief that's encouraging new businesses. Entrepreneurial activity is the most important thing we can do to grow the economy of southeastern Vermont.
I would also like to add that for the Strolling of the Heifer funds, we raised these funds from the Strolling of the Heifers as well as from our concerts that we do. And I'd also like to add that we were very fortunate. We just heard that the John Merck Foundation provided the Strolling of the Heifers with $20,000 to implement this program across the state of Vermont, which is very, very exciting.
And we've spent that money already several times, just to let you know. Bills should be coming in soon. I want to take a moment now to talk about the actual mechanics of the process, because this is really important. As we have in the past, there are two phases to the competition. The first, and that's the one that we're announcing today and we'd like everyone to know about, is to solicit submissions of what we call executive summaries. There's a definition of exactly what an executive summary is on our website, brattleborodevelopment.com. But an executive summary is a 2-page narrative description of a business and 1 page of projected finances. And that's the same across both components of this, the farm, food, and general business. That is crucial. That is the entry card into the competition. Those executive summaries are due on, now you're going to test me, April 11th, by 4 o'clock here at BDCC. You must have them here by that time. A small committee of professionals will evaluate all of the executive summaries in the 2 categories. Have people in the farm food category judging the farm food, general business related folks, and we'll select the finalists. There will be a minimum of 5 finalists in each of the 4 divisions. Those finalists will then be invited to write a complete business plan. A business plan is a rather complex document. It involves far more extensive explanation, research, and documentation than the executive summary. It includes far more extensive financials. And in support of that, we have asked the Small Business Development Center, which operates in Vermont, to provide some training, and they have agreed to do so. So I'd like to introduce Deborah Vaudrillot, who is the regional or area Small Business Development Center counselor, who will be leading those sessions, and we have scheduled dates for those, which I can give you in a moment.
Good morning, it's nice to be here. We thought we would do a quick class for people to help them put their executive summaries together, partly so we could give people some pointers. It's always, even an executive summary, though it's short, it is actually the culmination of your entire business plan. So I'm going to do 2 classes, one in the morning, one in the evening. They're free. The Vermont Small Business Development Center, we're funded by the state and the federal government, and so all of our services are free except a course called Starting Your Own Small Business, which if someone has not done before, we're going to encourage them to take, and I have one scheduled in the time frame so that people can learn more components about how to do a business plan. And then I will be available to work with the finalists in each group to advise them through the process of creating a business plan if they're interested in my assistance. I think we're also offering them SEVCA and a couple of other agencies. I happen to have the leg up just because I'm here with Jeff and Bruce in the office, and so I'll be here and we'll be able to meet people. And hopefully as they come to the executive summary class, I'll be able to give them some pointers on how to continue the process. But we're hoping that by giving them this class, they'll be able to articulate what their plans are better, and also make it easier for the people who are judging the competition this first phase, that there will be a standard format and they will know that they've gone through the course. So we encourage people to take the course. If we have more applicants, if we have more people coming to the class than the 2 we have scheduled, we'll schedule another. Thank you.
Thank you. The dates for those
Yes,
creating
thank
an effective executive summary are in the press release, so I won't go over them right now. This is terrific. Well, we continue to hear from people, we heard from people over the first 5 of these, or 4 of these, that the actual process of writing the executive summary and for finalists for writing the full business plan was as valuable, if not more valuable, than the actual cash they received by winning. And we still hear that from people who are in the first year, are still telling us, you know, that business plan is still relevant and we are still following it. So the preparation and the work to do the writing, to do the plan, are really, really important to small businesses. Deborah is terrific at working with people and helping give their ideas shape, substance. So we heartily recommend that folk take advantage of Deborah's training.
So, shall we talk about after the business plans are submitted?
Yes.
And we know when that's going to happen, when they're due.
Yep. We do, and it's all in the press release. You and I don't have to know
Oh,
all the
okay.
details.
But the exciting thing that will happen with all this, which is new to BDCC, and we're working collaboratively, is that Strolling of the Heifers is, and I'm sure many of the viewers have heard, we're launching our first Slow Living Summit, which will be June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And we're very excited because we're going to kick off the whole summit with the Business Competition Plan Awards. So June 1st, to kick off the Slow Living Summit, we will have an awards ceremony, and the governor, of course, is invited, and I believe is coming. And Chuck Frost, our new Secretary of Agriculture, is definitely coming. And a few other folks will be giving speeches, giving the awards. But the exciting thing about this piece will be is that we have invited investors to come and listen to the finalists pitch their plan. And then they'll have a chance to meet up with the investors and discuss their plans in more detail. So that's an exciting piece for both categories. This will be for the farm food and the traditional business plan recipients. So we're very, very excited about that. We'll see what happens.
So let me just run through the day on the 1st of June, because Orly's outlined what the effect will be on people, but there's an awful lot happening on that one day. The final business plans are due just before Memorial Day, and on the 1st, we have our final presentations. That'll run from 9 to roughly noon in the morning, which the judges in each category will hear final presentations and prepare themselves to make a final decision. Those decisions will happen when all those are done, which should be around noon. As Orly said, then there's an opportunity for the finalists, and it'll be their choice, but the opportunity for them to display their proposal and to talk with investors and other interested parties who are coming to the conference between 1 and 3 in the afternoon. That will also be at the Marlboro Tech Center, as were the finals. And at 3 o'clock, the governor hopefully will be in town, and we will announce the winners by category, as we have in the past, in exactly that same schedule, and make the final awards. So it's a lot of activity for those finalists on that day, but an enormous amount of opportunity, and Strolling of the Heifers is bringing this whole additional dimension of an opportunity to talk to potential investors, to practice again the pitch, to be able to say, this is what I'm doing, this is what it means, this is why it'll work, get that in front of folks who just might be willing to invest in their company. This is a great extension of what we have done in the past.
And also the investors will be participating in the conference not only Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday. So the finalists will have a chance to even communicate and mingle with them for an extra, for 3 days, which is a real opportunity.
Exactly. Are we ready for questions, sir?
Just maybe Bruce could run down quickly any particular points about eligibility for the contest and some of the nitty-gritty rules.
Thanks, Martin.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased to be involved in this. I've been involved in this program over its entirety, basically the 5th program. First, I was a judge for the first couple of years and really enjoyed the process. To pick up on some of the comments that have been made to date, BDCC is a not-for-profit organization. It derives most of the benefits of our budget come from the incubators that we run, where we have 125 very small businesses in here in a semi-incubator basis. This is small business helping small business, which is really exciting because that's our future. So there are some eligibility rules which you can read in the literature. A couple of new wrinkles this year. In the past, we've had opportunities of people that come back to the program a second time or a third time, and we're asking that they skip one cycle in the process. If they were a finalist in the last business plan, we'd like them to skip one so we have more room for finalists in this year's plan. So that's a new wrinkle, but we think it's a prudent activity to take. The other thing to mention is that we're focusing on, there's an awful lot of great businesses around here, both for-profit and not-for-profit. This is a for-profit endeavor, so we're asking people to make sure that if they're coming to the business plan competition, that they are operating a for-profit business. There are certain elements having to do with location. Basically, Windham County plus Leedsboro, Searsburg, and Western Vermont is the territory for both. So there's a geographic issue here. We're trying to have an impact on the geographic issue. Other elements that I think are worth mentioning is basically the resources that are available to help these folks. And so doing a really good job on your executive summary is essential, or you won't make the cut to get into the finalists. So I think the training that we're going to be coming up with and whatnot, I really encourage people who are interested in it not to wing it, but to really get a high-quality executive summary in order to make the cut. Then, of course, you've got to do the whole business plan, which is a major undertaking. Some of the organizations that are set up to help us are basically Small Business Development Center, ZEDCA, Vermont, A&R, Department of Economic Development, BDCC itself. And over the years, we've helped an awful lot of people with their business plans. So we really encourage them to seek some sort of a help to do a quality job in their business plan.
Bruce, you just want to mention the revenue limit too?
There's a requirement from the standpoint of that it not only be not-for-profit, but that gross revenues are below $500,000. So this is to help small business either get started or move from a infancy to the next level up. So the thought is that if you have a $1 or $2 or $3 million business, that this is probably not the program for you. So it's micro business and small business to get started.
I'd also like to add this, another fun component to this. If there's any business that is organic, the Organic Trade Association that just moved to Brattleboro is offering free membership in the organization to any finalist that has, of course, an organic company. So that's very, very exciting.
You mentioned only investors, and I think that's, I've already talked to a number of people, and they get really excited about having investors. We also should mention that there are going to be bankers there. Sometimes you don't think of bankers as
That's
investors,
right.
but we've talked to a couple of the banks, and they're very excited to do that. And a number of our past participants have actually come up with connections with banks, and that's what they need. So there'll be both traditional investors as well as bankers that will be having an opportunity to talk to these folks.
Yeah. And also the judges, at least for both categories, they're going to be experts in the category that they're in. But the farm food division will have successful business people in those areas, and the judges will be selected for that.
Questions?
I have to leave, so I wonder if I may go first. I only have one question.
Go ahead.
Is that right, gentlemen? Right, he's texting. Actually, I have one clarifying question, just to follow on something Bruce Gardner said. And also I have a message from elsewhere for you all. So the first question is, just to clarify, Bruce, this is not a bioregional competition. Is this Windham County? It's a southern Vermont entity, is it? Not if you grow lettuce in Hinsdale, you're out.
Well, we're planning on taking Hinsdale over, but up until the time that we do, Hinsdale will have to be excluded.
It's Windham, the Windham region it's called.
Windham region.
Because the region that we cover and that actually our counterpart agency, the Windham Regional Planning Group, also covers is Windham County plus Weston, Reedsboro, and Searsburg.
Yes, Jeff.
So that's what the business has to be in that area.
Right. Okay. And the greeting is that Carolyn Partridge called me from the State House. They always call me when they don't know what to do. You know how it is. Probably. She said, what she can do up there is do politics and legislation and stuff. But what you people are doing, and even named you people, Strolling of the Heifers, and everyone supporting all this local VOR thing down here is essential, because she just wanted to make clear that she cannot do that. The legislator can't do that. This is the means forward to find local management and encouragement for. Anyway, greetings from Montpelier.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, Carolyn.
Honored and humbled.
Well, she didn't mean it in any
I know.
patronizing way. She's saying you people are just
Yeah.
essential. It can't go forward
As
without.
far as we know, there is nothing similar in the state of Vermont.
Yeah.
And particularly with the addition of the farm food category in partnership with the
Yeah.
Strolling, there is nothing that matches this
Very big.
uh,
Yeah.
competition.
And that's why we got this grant from the John Merck Foundation. We're so grateful to that, to take this and implement it across the state.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, she just gives you, especially this farm food stuff, just very big marks.
Well, she's a farmer.
She is.
Exactly, that's right.
And an
Right.
exquisite knitter. we
So,
might add.
yeah, she knows what it's
Yeah,
like.
she's a sheep farmer.
Uh-huh.
Tim?
So I've got to ask, Jeff, how are past competitors, winners from this competition doing? Has it made a lasting effect?
The answer to that is really interesting. Some of the winners are doing really well. In particular, the first winner was the New England Center for Circus Arts, which is still a tenant of ours and is continuing to grow and press the limits. They call Bruce every couple of days looking for more space because they have more students and they continue to reach further. So that one is the benchmark. However, we want to be really clear that even from that first year, it's not always winners who actually pay out in the end. Because one of the finalists who did not win was Against the Grain non-gluten bakery. They were effectively second that year, and they are running an incredibly successful business. Out of our book press building, actually, but they are running a business that's growing at a tremendous rate, has been now for 4 years, and they continue to call us almost daily looking for more space to grow further. It's an astounding business. So those are two examples. The third and equally interesting example is a winner in year either 2 or 3, which was Fulcrum Arts, a combination of Randy Solon, a glass blower, and Natalie Blake Potter, both of whom are located in our buildings. None of this was intentional, it's just where they were. Who want to create a site that they can share that's accessible to tourists to come and watch them work, to put up a gallery so that folk can buy their work and other artists' work. They've been working together for 3.5 years to try and find, qualify, and construct the right site. It's still not done. It's very hard to find appropriate real estate here in Brattleboro. The good news is they have stuck together. They are still on task. They are still on mission and still trying to get it done. So what it did for them was sharpen an idea, give it focus, and they've stuck with that for years. A couple of the others, it was a good bump for them. There was a knitting needle company out of Saxton's River that was very interesting. It bumped them up in terms of market attention, so much so that a Chinese company duplicated their product and began to eat them alive. It was a really tough moment to try and do that, to try and deal with that. So the answer is, we've seen everything from vast success to some real challenges like our knitting people, and some others where we saw some good ideas, got some energy. Many of these folks we're still in touch with. Bruce and I talk with participants, and I mean not just winners, but participants relatively frequently. So what it does for us, and I hope this is for Deborah as well, is creates a relationship that we can continue to talk with these folk over a long period of time. That's what we see as the big win, is we get to know some entrepreneurs, we get to understand what they think they're doing, and we get to engage with them. That's the big win for us, and we hope it's the big win for them.
Actually, a small subset, but it's worth mentioning, is the fact that some people have done the business plan competition and decided through the process of analysis and whatnot that they don't want to be in business. Right. Now think of how interesting that is. Rather than spend down their savings and their mom and dad's savings and whatnot, the process of doing the business plan showed them that their idea did not float. And they were able to close that chapter and go on to something else. So that's a value, even though it's a value that's negative to their idea, it opens them up for some future ideas.
That's a great comment.
Yeah, we actually consider that a success, believe it or not. In our counseling, we do one-on-one free business advising for clients. And I actually encourage my people, once they've come, I do a lot of loan package development and I do a lot of business plan development, that once the business plan is developed, to continue to come and see me. And I do see most of my clients at least quarterly. So that's helpful. But there are those clients that come in with an idea and they have saved they've saved money, or they are going to ask mom and dad. And when we finish doing the numbers and the business plan, that articulation shows that either the timing is wrong, or the idea doesn't have enough substance, or there are other kinds of situations that are going to make this business untenable. And if they choose not to do it, we do consider that a success. Because most of those entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs. 6 months later, they're going to come back with another idea. I mean, most entrepreneurs are they're little incubators of ideas. And so one of them is going to stick. We just feel like if we can help them find the right one.
The other thing that's worth mentioning, if I could, the examples of past winners are somewhat anecdotal, but there are plenty of studies that say that most new job creation happens in small businesses, not in large businesses. And more specifically, it happens in startups, which is what we're talking about here, or in businesses that have a new idea and are starting a new line of business or a new expansion of business. And those are the things that this thing is specifically aiming at. So really, ultimately, the benefit here is job creation.
That's right.
And also the statistic is that businesses fail mostly because they don't have the plan. And most entrepreneurs just have the idea and they start putting things together. And when you study new businesses that have failed within the first year, the majority of those failures are because they just didn't do their homework and they didn't do the plan. So Jeff's earlier comment that the participants are saying that even though the money was something, the plan was even more valuable. That's the exciting part too, because that does allow them. And one of the things we do in the plan is we look at 3 years out in a typical business plan projection. So you're looking at what does it look like 3 years from now, and when do we make the hires, and what should those hires be? Are they strategic hires, and how do we do that? So it's a long process to do a business plan, and I encourage people to, once they've done the plan, look at it once a month and see where they are against it, and don't just put it in a drawer because they got their bank loan and walk away from it.
I would also like to add to what Bruce said in terms of helping people work out if it's a good business plan or I should give it up and move on to something else. This whole business competition, number one, is an amazing support group for people and ability to articulate and really draw out of people creativity. I mean, you can go to a bank and take a loan and do it the old-fashioned dry way, but in the process, there's not enough communication and ability to articulate to someone else as you do in this process. And I think this process brings out a lot more creativity and getting that into our community versus the old traditional way of going to a bank and putting your house in collateral for that.
Other questions? Randy?
For people to submit an idea and move forward, what kind of ideas are you guys looking for? Is this something new and creative? Is this something like reinventing the wheel? Or is this something as similar or as small as instead of that plastic knife, it's going to be a plastic knife and a fork at the same time?
We're looking for ideas that are going to generate revenue and provide jobs. This is not, and there are things like this is not an idea competition. That is a scientific competition is bring me the smallest chip you can make or something like that. This is about business, and we keep saying that. This is about new businesses. They may make a product that competes with existing product sets. They may do brand new products that they've just invented. We've seen both. We're looking at businesses, not at products, not at inventions. Those are all other things. We want successful businesses.
Well, that might be a little more difficult than, say, the food sector of the contest, because there are only so many different ways you can grow cabbage.
But
you can do different things with cabbages.
But all we're looking for is a successful cabbage grower.
Right.
So it's fine with us if we got 6 people growing cabbage. That's great. Those will be different business plans. And first of all, we got 6 people talking about it. Secondly, a couple of those are going to be really sharp and say, here's something else I can do with the cabbage that'll generate revenue. Here's a way I can do it with a little bit less labor to reduce my cost. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for somebody who says, I found a vegetable nobody else has ever tried. Really, we're looking for somebody who does it better and can make a business out of something.
So with the food category more than the other category of the contest, you're looking more for the tried and true, but slightly refined and improved version of the tried and true.
Just a better business plan. We had some very interesting ones 3 years ago. I think Putney Mountain Winery was in the competition. They were finalists. Howard Prusak and his farm were finalists. So we've had some of these, and those were pretty interesting ideas. It's still fruit or it's still wine, but they've got an interesting business that they're building on top of a product that we all understand. That's what makes it interesting. And as you know, while agriculture is core to the Vermont values, it is a very challenging business area. So the focus on business planning, on thinking your way through it, is possibly even more important in the agriculture area than it is in general business. So that's why we're really pleased with this partnership. It helps us focus on something that's got to be crucial to people in the agriculture, food, and farm area.
Having watched some of the judges and their deliberations and questions to applicants, I see a couple of things coming out. One is the likelihood of success. Is it a real business or is it just a lifestyle thing? Second thing is it scalable? Is it something that has an opportunity to start out small and have some growth potential to impact the community themselves as well as the community in general? And those things have a weight under the judges as they're looking from the judgment standpoint.
That's right.
Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let
Take
the
a bagel, it's small.
competition begin.
Yes, let the fun begin.
Exactly.
I can't remember whether the people who did the maple liqueur had submitted a business plan.
Sapling, out of Saxon's River.
Yeah.
Actually, we are still in touch with him, particularly through Deborah, but I've seen him, we see him in here. So that business, Bruce is talking, he's looking for space. So that's one that, I can't, did he get a finalist? Was he a finalist or not? But that opened a relationship that has continued now for 3 years. So that's what we're trying to say. This has fruit in lots of areas. It's not just winning a few $1,000s. It opens a relationship that can be really good.
I think the after-program mentoring that occurs has an unseen value. That is, it's unseen to the community, but it has a significant value to the people that come in, whether it be talking to Deborah or Jeff or myself or others, to get mentoring assistance as they go.
You get a bag
I
of
think
bagels.
it may be overly
Yeah, it's just-
simplistic to say this,
Oh,
but
my God.
every
Did you
participant is a winner.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened
What?
to him?
What?
He came, he just had a tooth pulled, that's why he was late. Oh. And I asked him if he wants some bagels, because that's why I'm late, I just had a tooth
Whoa.
pulled.
Feed them
Good
soft
job.
enough, I might be able to chew them.
Holy moly.
Did
you realize that?
Ostracized.
Wait till the Novocaine goes out.
I just did that.
Thanks for coming, guys. Really appreciate it.
That's somebody driving me.
Oh,
Very good.
yeah.
around work.
Oh, my gosh.
I've seen their town meeting, they don't ostracize anybody.
Yeah, you're right.
What is it, a wisdom? Oh, I can't believe you're here. You're amazing. Oh, my God.
Thank you. Done.
So,
They gave you really good drugs.
oh, I don't know what I think of your